Oh man, TSA is crap these days. Sight for sore eyes. If I came anymore, they'd have to put me on the payroll.
All right. Welcome to FaBled Hunters.
I'm Yuanji.
I'm Saint.
And today we're going to be opening some slabs.
Some slabs, that's right. We've got a package back from PCG, the headquarters, all the way back from HQ. And I waited for Yuanji to be back.
There's a bit of history to these slabs, I was told.
Yes. And you're aware of the episode, right?
So you had taken some CGC slabs.
A BGS as a control, as well as a PCG, US slab as a control, to go see where the grading companies were at, right?
Yeah, grading the grading companies.
And I wanted to wait so that we could get this guy to be objective, because I'm told I'm very opinionated. So, yeah.
Well, you can have opinions.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just... Some people think my opinions are bad, some people think my opinions are good, and if you think my opinions are bad, you don't necessarily have to watch your content, you know?
Or you can watch the content and leave, hater comments and
I will turn around and I'll end up shitting on you. So, yes, when I have the time. So, let's review. What are your thoughts so far?
Okay, so this is an Art of War. So this is a 9 basic plus.
Oh, you can... Yeah, just as long as it's elevated like 5, 6, 8. Yeah.
Centering, it's got a 9.5. Looks pretty good. I got 8.5 on corners, and then 9 on edges and surface. Surface, I think, is a little bit hard for me to
It's impossible to gauge
in the light here.
Yep.
But definitely the corners is 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, all the corners have some issue with it, so... 8.5 corners makes sense, and the edges, the edges I'm not sure about.
Okay, you don't see anything much on the edges. Could also be just the cut was slightly awkward, or there's something there.
Yeah.
Slight little nick. Oh, there's something on the left, right there. You see there's an edge right there?
Oh, yes, I agree.
Left. So, anyways, the edges are there. Let's roll the video, because I had some comments about Art of War.
Bottom right, bottom left, top right. I wouldn't call that edge damage, that's just from the back. It's just improperly cut. You know what, I think overall this is still a 9.
Again, we're trying to use Beckett as a control. I did, however, say, although I didn't necessarily agree with some of the subgrades, that it would come out to be a 9. In this case, PCG headquarters had graded the surface and the edges to be slightly stricter, slightly lower by half a subgrade, but they did turn out to be a 9 basic.
Yeah,
this is a 9 basic plus. This is a 9 basic plus.
I think the edge, like that thing, I wouldn't have caught it if you didn't point it out at first.
Yeah. Still an imperfection though.
Yep.
But it came out. It's within range. It's a 9 basic, and in this case, PCG is actually more strict than Beckett.
Yeah, so I think the corners definitely should not have gone anything higher than an 8.5.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
So Beckett and PCG agreed.
Yeah. Inconsistent, right? They're both rather consistent. So there we go. Next slab.
Okay, so we have a Katsu the Wanderer 9.5 basic plus.
10 centering.
So I always have a hard time telling the difference between a 9.5 and a 10 centering. This card does look very well centered.
Yeah, if it's very well centered, it's under 2% of a disparity on one of the two axes. I would say top bottom is where there's a disparity, but left right is like dead on perfect.
Yeah, normally I think you would need to use like digital calipers or something.
They do. They use a digital microscope.
So this got a 9 on the corners, and then a 9.5 on edges and surface. So corners, I definitely see like this thing.
That'll drop it to a 9. That plus one other small little thing.
Yeah, there's like a little feather. Makes sense. I think if it was just this, depending on the grader, maybe you could slide by as a quad plus, but...
This was a control. This was just slipped in.
Kind of makes sense.
So this wasn't one of the featured slabs. Art of War was one of the featured slabs, so that's one featured slab.
Okay, so we have a Dash Inventor Extraordinaire. So it's a 9.5 basic, so 9.5 on the corners, edges, and the centering, but I got a 9 on surface. I'm gonna see if I can tell why the surface. I think it's really hard because surface. I think we need better lighting.
No, there's no way because there's multiple inner sleeves.
Yeah.
They get a look at the surface. They get to reflect light perfectly. You really can't. Let's see what I said in the prior video.
Yeah, roll the
tape. For a second. Roll the tape.
The centering, I think 9.5 is not difficult. It's definitely 9 or better. Corners, you've got this corner on the top right. You've got a smaller imperfection on the bottom left. So I think PCG, they're a little more forgiving on the corners. I'd probably put it in the 9 range, and then I don't know, the surface is okay.
All right, ultimately did not end up being a quad. The surface got downgraded to a 9 from a 9.5. This was the paper label graded at PCG US.
Yeah.
This is double checked and regraded at PCG headquarters. So I did say 9.5 quad was a little too generous, but 9.5, very happy with that grade. So we got the 2 controls out of the way. Right?
Okay, so now this is, we have a Dorinthea Iron Song. This is a 9.5 quad.
Yep.
And off the bat, centering looks very good. I think maybe top bottom is a little bit off, but within the range. These corners look really nice. So what is the difference between like a 9.5 and like a 10 corners?
A 10 corners means all 4 corners are essentially perfect. They're cut by the factory. They're cut without any, micro details. There's no micro nicks. I think 9.5 corners, you can have like 1, maybe 2 micro nicks, and that's it. Maybe an awkwardly cut corner or 2, but still very clean corners would still get you a 9.5.
Yeah.
Whereas 10, there's just 0 margin for error.
Okay.
And there should be 0 margin for error when you're talking about 10s.
Sure.
Yep. So this was actually not just like Katsu. It was thrown in. These were like dummy cards just to test out the graders. I look at the corners. I see the corners.
The corners look really good on this
They look really, really good, yeah.
That's what I think what prompted me to ask the question.
Yeah.
That I saw like on this corner there's like a tiny little. It's just like a little piece of paper.
Yeah, there's on the top,
yeah,
right there. And then this corner, it's not perfectly round, and on a certain angle, it's just angled a certain way, and they can just say, you know what, 9.5 is gem mint. It's not perfect,
yeah.
And they also have multiple graders. I think checkpoint A, checkpoint B, so multiple. Minimum of 2 graders look at it. Sometimes they get a 3rd grader to look at it.
Yeah.
And there it is. That's why it's gem mint. It's still a very beautiful grade for a very rare rainbow foil, early rainbow foil, 9.5 quad. But this is not one of the cards that we're judging against. The next one is
Brier, Warden of Thorns. Is this the pre-errata or post-errata?
44, so it's pre-errata.
Pre-errata. Whenever an attack card you control deals damage. Now it's the first time.
Yep.
So this card is definitely not centered perfectly. Mm-hmm. It's thinner on the right than it is on the left.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you could obviously see it, right? You've never seen the grade.
Yeah, like very obviously it's off.
Well, our great friends at CGC gave it a 9.5 centering.
Wow.
Like you could obviously see it. You don't have to be a grader of millions of cards or even hundreds of thousands of cards. You can just obviously see it, right?
Yeah, the corners, I think, are pretty good. And then it got 9 on surface and a 9 on edges. And I'm trying to find the edge. I think it's the top here.
Yep.
I don't know if
there's definitely damage over there. You could definitely see the white damage. You pointed it out, right? And that's through 3 layers of plastic you can see. The surface, we'll talk about that later, but there you go. I don't think I made a big deal out of the Brier. I'm guessing there's no tape to roll, but there's visible edge damage right there. 9.5 edges. The corners, here they got 9.5. They originally got 9. I don't know. I don't see any problem with the corners. Mm-hmm. But here, the surface got 9, and they gave the surface 10. There are obviously issues on the surface. That's why there's a 1-point deduction. Whereas CGC, almost automatically 9.5s and 10s, everything. Again, a reason why CGC did away with their subgrades grading, because they could not even stand behind their system of grading because it was so atrocious. Next card.
We have a 5 Rising Rebellion. Cold foil. I think these were given out at, it was either like a skirmish or like a road to nationals or something for top 8. It says 9/5 centering. So the card, let's see about that. It looks pretty good. I think maybe slightly bigger on the right and slightly bigger on the top, but not that much.
It's close. Yeah. You got 20% allowance on one.
And then the
one
corners, it got a 9. So corners, there's a little bit of like looks like scratchy here, and like a little thing there.
Yeah,
a little thing.
3.
Here.
So three corner issues, which dropped it down to a 9, right?
That makes sense. And then 9.5 edges. So yeah, nothing is immediately obvious for edge damage that I'm seeing.
Okay.
And surface,
you can't tell on the surface. So that was Yuanji's assessment. Let's roll the tape.
You see that print line at the bottom? Right there. You see that? It's like a hairline, print line going up to down right there. You see this? There's that edge nick down there. Corner's imperfect over there. Awkward cut. So there's already surface damage. The surface blemish up top, right there, like a coffee stain on the card. There's edge damage down there. No, I did not scrape it or anything. Edge damage down there.
So the surface damage I caught, there was a coffee stain on the surface that I mentioned on the tape.
Sure.
This was a 9.5 quad, and like the difference between a 9.5 quad, which is like really, really top tier, and a 9 quad plus plus is literally like 2 entire degrees of magnitude of value. Because a 9.5 basic, here, this is a 9 quad plus, which is significantly inferior to a 9.5 basic and other grading companies. Reputable grading companies would grade them differently, would value them differently. This was a 9.5 basic plus with a surface 10.
It's just like 9.5 quad is like, it's like the upper threshold.
Yeah, it's a level above
a
9.5 basic. It's like the best 9.5. It's the best thing that you can get before a 10. So this is actually a 9 quad plus plus, but again, CGC graded this as a 9.5 quad. And these days I hear 9.5 quads are effectively like CGC 10s on their new no subgrade.
Yeah.
So this is actually a 9, and CGC graded it basically as like a new CGC 10.
I think if it depends, like if it was like, let's say if it was like a 9.5 basic to like a 9.5 quad, and there was like debatable subgrade, I think you know that's within the margin of error that somebody could have, but I think there's a big difference between a 9 plus
and a 9.5 quad. That's 2 entire grades, levels of grade.
So next we have a Brier Warden of Thorns. This is the eroded one. First time.
Yep.
First time you hit. So I got a 9 centering, 9 corners, 8.5 edges, and a 9.5 surface. So off the bat, centering, I think it looks pretty big on the top compared to the bottom.
Slightly, yeah.
And then left, right looks okay. Maybe diamond.
It's diamond.
Yeah,
he caught it. Bigger. He caught it. That's thicker than that, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Originally, just the centering was a 9.5. It's literally diamond cut. There are 3 grading companies where if there's even a little visible diamond cut visible to the naked eye, it can't get over a 9. So this card is diamond cut. They're giving a 9.5. Guess what? PCG gave it a 9, which, you know, PSA would have recognized it as diamond cut. BGS would have recognized it as diamond cut. So there you go.
Yeah, I think corners, originally when I was looking at the back, I didn't really see why I got a 9. But if you look at the front, there's like a little thing there.
Yep.
And then so that's probably...
Well, they gave the corners a 9.5.
And then also here.
Yep, multiple corner dings.
And this one is like, I guess if you're not looking for it, if you're just looking at the back, I can see, but if you're a professional working at...
Yeah, and they're supposed to be professionals. They gave the surface a 10.
You see it? Surface mark by the bottom of my thumb, right there, surface mark. Right corner, damage. Edge damage on the left. Edge damage at the bottom. Again, edge damage. Corner damage on the bottom left. Rough cut on the left. Awkward edge cut. You see that serrated edge on the right. More edge damage, right? That's a perfect surface, right? It's literally right there where my finger is. That is a surface blemish. That's structural damage to the card.
And yeah, they gave the surface a 10. They said there's absolutely nothing wrong with the surface, yet we picked up, residual issues and damage on the surface. This is a 9.5 centering, 10 surface, 9.5 corners, 8.5 edges. This is still a 9, but this would be a 9+++. Whereas here, it'd be a 9+.
I think the edge damage is probably like on the front. It's hard for me to see because I think you have to also like look at the card on the side.
Yep, that's why I took the video of the card. But here, they're off by 1 grade on the surface. They're off by 1 grade on the centering. They're off by 1 grade on the corners.
Yeah.
So this is literally 3 subgrades of a deviation.
All right, next up we have Prism, Awakener of Soul. This is one of the newer.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful card. I just threw that in there just because.
Just because.
Yeah, just because she's an awesome hero card, and the majority of these were hero cards.
Yeah, so you got a 9.5 basic. So 9 on centering. I can see why. I think
you see.
This part is thinner.
Left, right. Yep.
Very obvious.
Very obvious. But it's still, top, bottom's nice, so it's still within range. 9, mint, not perfect. Yep.
Really good. Nothing stands out. I think we'd have to like take a look more closely, but it looks like a beautiful card.
Yeah, it is. It's just thrown in there. Just because.
You wanted to get a grade, why not?
Yes, just because I want a hero prism.
All right, so we have a gold foil. Mage Master Boots.
Yes.
So this got a 9 centering, 10 surface. That's really nice. 9.5 corners and edges. So the centering, again, it looks like, I don't know like how their like alignment is, but it always, like this part is thin.
That part is thick. And that's already, I would even say for a 9, it's on the generous side, but it's 9.
It seems a bit, like just at the threshold.
Yep. But look, CGC gave it a 9.5. Like, how would you go with a company that will give that gem mint, like near perfect centering? Are there not any standards? Like, this is easily more than 1.5 times as thick as this.
If you took this card and it was a 9, so this card's already like pretty nice. It's a 9.5.
Yep.
But if you took it and it was a 9.5 quad, it's a different threshold.
It's a different tier of card.
And I feel like if you are a collector and you are purchasing like a 9.5 quad from somebody and you receive this card, I feel like you'd be a little bit upset.
I'd be upset. I would not want it to have a 9.5 quad, especially not a quad plus grade. And this was represented as a quad in CGC, but any real card collector would discredit this quad. That's why I bought it. I bought these 4 cards, all CGC graded, but I bought them for raw pricing because there is no, like 3 of them were supposed to be 9.5s, gem mints. And again, this is actual empirical evidence, and you saw it objectively. You didn't know the grades before and after.
Yep.
Why CGC had to disband and disregard their old grading system, because they could not even stand behind their own bullshit Fugazi. That's how bad it was, right? The proof is in the pudding.
As a grading company, I think your most important asset is kind of your
integrity. Yep.
Your like reliability. And so I think if you, I don't know, man, like if let's say if you are a prospective collector and you were buying these CGC 9.5 quads.
Yep.
And let's say you didn't buy it at raw pricing, if you bought it at a premium, like 1.5x whatever premium.
Yep.
I would feel pretty bad.
I'd feel scammed. I'd feel like there's no credibility or reliability to this company. And then these labels are even phased out. So guess what? CGC made millions of dollars off their customers using these labels. Now they're disavowing these labels. They're like, oh, you want them to be backed by CGC? Give us money again, and then we can relabel them and not give you subgrades. So that's that. We got one last card to round out the lot.
Go bananas.
Go bananas. Yes.
So it got a 9 centering. Yeah, this part is fat.
Yep.
On the right.
Fat, PHAT.
Or
thick with 3 C's.
Yeah, but not like outrageous, but it's very noticeable.
Yep.
8.5 corners, 9 edges, 9 surface.
Usually you'll find the corner issues in the back, more than one, or a significant one.
This. There's like a little chip.
There's
here.
3. There's a chip over there on that corner too. Yep.
So it makes sense.
Mini chips.
Yeah, and then,
really hard to get even out of the package. It's one of the original foils. We had another episode where we had the prior foils, and like the old hero foils 1 through 8. This is, I think this precedes it. This is around like the Rudy promo days.
Edges, I have a hard. Sometimes, you know, they might mark.
There's a little thing right there. You see, there's a little chip right there. It's like 3D. You see the edge chip right there?
Yeah.
Yep. So there's a
like,
noticeable edge ding.
That's like if you like took like your nail and then like ran it across or something like that. Like you're like peeling it up. Like it's like the top is like
top is up. Yep. There's a little edge thing. So there it is, and there's the edge thing right there. Like this is part of the corner. You see the edge thing?
Yeah.
Right
there? The comment I was gonna make is like sometimes like you get like these things that like extend.
Yep.
Into the edge, and so sometimes the edges and corners get dinged off of the same. You know.
Yeah.
Like
both. Absolutely. But still, great to get a Go Bananas. I had this originally in the cellophane wrapping. And these 4 cards were just to grade. Very happy with another 9.5 Katsu, a quad Dory, 9.5 Prism. Still want a 9.5 Go Bananas, but they're to mix in with this predominant promo batch. So there we go. This I felt was overgraded from PCG US. Glad to get it done right, get it checkpointed.
Yeah.
Down 1 grade. This is the same tier of grade, but you could see that in this case, PCG, I'm not saying it's all the case all the time, but PCG was literally slightly more strict on 2 of the subgrades. And then here, this went down a tier of card because it was overgraded by a tier from 9.5 to quad. This was down by 3 subgrades, right? Yeah. This was a 9.5 quad, which is literally 2 tiers above. It was overgraded by 2 entire collector tiers. Quad, 9.5, 9 quad. And that's a 9. That's the difference between the top level gold label and a top level silver label. And here, this is a 9.5 basic plus. And yeah, this is 3 subgrades as well. Because the centering is overgraded, the surface is doubly overgraded, and the edges was overgraded.
Yeah, I think to me, the biggest point was that I feel like you just can't mess up on centering subgrade. Like, centering subgrade is like the most obvious to anybody who's looking at the card.
Yeah.
That there's just like
3 of these, right?
Yeah, like you can't really mess up centering
it's
subgrade.
It's objective. You can't screw it up.
Yeah. And then like I feel like sometimes, you know, when you have differences in surface, like maybe sometimes there's things that are only visible if you shine like a really powerful light at a certain angle or something like that to catch, you know, sometimes there's like either like oil or like something on the surface.
Yep.
I can understand if on a given day, if surface there's like a discrepancy of like half a point. But yeah, you just can't mess up centering. Centering is just like, it's not that hard. You just like, you don't need caliper. You just like look at it.
Yeah, if you can see it.
Yeah, but if you are a professional working in the environment and you have access to the tools,
and you're still not, there's either something wrong with the system itself, which is proven by them revamping their system and disavowing subgrades, right? Disavowing their whole CGC universal grading system. We're the best grading company on the planet. We're owned by Blackstone. Just kidding, guys. Blackstone only wants your money. They don't care about any credibility or standards or integrity, like any other private equity company. But, yep, I guess that's it. It was great to have Yuanji give your perspective.
Yeah.
I was just chiming in. I've already said my piece, and I'm glad to get this upgraded from the good old Channel Fireball days. Only slightly, 1 subgrade of, by 0.5. This 2 subgrades, but still a 9 basic plus instead of a Beckett 9 basic plus plus plus. So thanks again for PCG coming in and helping out, getting us involved, getting these sexy, nice metal labels, and appreciate the opportunity to collaborate on content with the folks at PCG headquarters. All right, if you like what you see, you can join us on Patreon, support the FaBled Runaways, right, for $4.99 a month. Otherwise, remember to like, comment, subscribe, twiddle that notification button, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
right, Fab Fam, here we are, back again, giving you a different look. It's always the same sign, it hasn't changed for like 3 years. Jacksonville Credit Union, rocking my Alpha Investments. Somebody's got to make the donuts, right? We're back. My home, away from home, away from home. Time to make some donuts.